MrBeast is reportedly in talks for a TV show on Amazon Prime Video. And this is big news. According to Variety, a competition television series hosted by one Jimmy Donaldson is currently in discussion, with the report citing a potential near $100 million deal. The idea being a reality show following the general format of his YouTube content, largely banking on the viewership of his upwards of 200 million subscriber base. And if you're anything like me, you can't help but wonder why? Because while MrBeast may undoubtedly be a household name nowadays, YouTubers and Hollywood have had a very tumultuous relationship over the years. YouTubers who try to break out of their niche of online content creation historically have not been well received. Whether it's something as simple as a 3-second cameo in a Hollywood blockbuster, or something as large as an entire series dedicated to a former YouTube star, these things usually result in nothing but the creator in question getting clowned on by the internet at large, in a way that's not always warranted. Maybe you landed yourself a voice role that really showcases your talent, or maybe the creators are just really big fans of your work and want to include you in their product, but whatever the case is, you can guarantee that if you make content on the internet, your contributions will be diminished as just influencer hype casting. But regardless of how you or I feel about the stigma of YouTubers trying to leave the YouTube bubble, what's undeniable is that there is a stigma. I think these forays into new mediums of creation are always met with hesitancy from fans because odds are, if you're a fan of a creator here on YouTube, you're already seeing the work you want to see from them. And more than that, you're seeing it for free. Just because you like the Game Grumps being funny while playing Punch-Out Wii doesn't necessarily mean you'll like them in a workplace sitcom where they're giving their best attempts at acting. Only the most die-hard of YouTube fans will follow someone making a drastic content jump in the first place, and your average television or movie consumer probably has no idea and has no reason to care about insert X internet celebrity being present in whatever. It's like stunt casting a popular musician to be in a movie, except with a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the marketing potential. YouTubers exist within so many sub-niches and hyper-specific tastes already. Take any 3 people off the street and their favorite YouTubers are almost guaranteed to exist in entirely separate worlds from each other. And that's ignoring the fact that there is a large chunk of people on this platform that don't even view online creators as people with any talent or merit of their own, with everyone being replaceable by another in a sea of thousands trying to be the next big thing. And that brings us to the current biggest thing. Say what you want about MrBeast and his effects on the platform as a whole, but Jimmy has always conducted himself as really smart and frankly down to earth when it comes to his creator journey. While others have fallen into the position of being an online creator and been ostracized for their attempts to be something more, Beastie Boy here has only ever wanted to be a YouTuber and nothing else, and I think that's part of the reason why he is so successful. He's the ultimate clout chaser. He's pulled several viral stunts, he lives in his production studio, he themes his videos super broadly and redubs them in several different languages so that they'll have worldwide appeal, and he's even talked about how he erases his own personality in his content in an effort to be unanimously likable. A lot of people would argue that a YouTube channel begins to lose personality when they start being a business instead of just a passion project. But MrBeast never aimed to have personality in the first place, just insane spectacle, building his brand without ever letting you forget who the person in charge really was. While other creators gradually shift into the background of their productions while they build out super robust teams of experts and creatives to make more higher quality content, here's good old country boy Jimmy and his friends at the front and center of every video every time. He only wants to be known as a YouTuber. He is the face of YouTube. And you know, while it's undeniably crazy, you have to respect someone who is so unambiguously focused on one thing that they'll reshape their entire existence to make it happen. And this single-minded focus on YouTube's success is admirable. He never wants to be the face of something unless it's going on his channel. This even reflects in his wider business ventures. He's not making himself the star of any new big things. He's quietly investing in gaming technology, or philanthropy, or college courses and investment funds for other creators. And even when he does do the typical big creator Hollywood cameos, he doesn't make himself the star of the show, instead opting to voice one-off, blink and you'll miss it background characters. And the few times he does put his face on these side ventures like Feastables or MrBeast Burger, they exist in completely different verticals, basically acting as extra publicity for his YouTube content that you can find in your local Walmart. And this content-first attitude that Jimmy carries throughout every one of his numerous public appearances is exactly why I think this rumored Amazon Prime show could be alright. A MrBeast TV show on paper sounds like a bad idea, and I'm definitely not gonna go out on a limb and say that I think this show will be good if it even gets made in the first place, but it's definitely an intriguing idea. I am willing to bet that this hypothetical TV show will just be a full season's worth of normal MrBeast videos, except slightly higher budget, filming with higher quality cameras, and possibly using their industry connections to do something that Jimmy couldn't do on his own. Although, I can't imagine there's much that he couldn't do at this point. Maybe they'll do something silly like go to space or get some celebrities in on the fun. And that would be perfectly acceptable, essentially just doing what YouTube did a couple years back with all those YouTube Red shows. But while that is the safest, most predictable outcome, I don't think it's the best one. MrBeast videos focus first and foremost on spectacle. Some crazy, easily understandable premise that gets pitched in an exaggerated manner in a thumbnail, then is consistently teased throughout a fast-paced 10 to 20 minute video as they work up to that final all-encompassing moment, then ending the video just as quickly as it started. And while this is a great format for online consumption that will attract as wide an audience as possible, it's not necessarily great television. People want a story, something to buy into, and even in the age of streaming libraries, I think that just making more slightly higher budget MrBeast videos that are exclusive to a different platform that you have to pay for will get as much pushback as the content I talked about earlier. So how do you fix this problem? Well, my pitch is to slow things down and really let us marinate in the content. Give us a longer look into the crazy rich people shenanigans and the choices being made. Your typical MrBeast video is made to capitalize on the short attention spans of children and hyper-online adults. You see hints of relationships starting to form, potential story arcs that could be explored, but all of it gets pushed aside in favor of swiftly moving between topics before they can outstay their welcome, or really make any impression at all. It makes for a super strong first-time watch, but keeps any discussion limited to a surface level at best. It's why compared to other online creators with a fraction of his footprint, there's barely a MrBeast fandom, and more so just a lot of people who consume his content and then never think about it again. I also think it's part of the reason why his more serious videos get so much pushback. It's undeniably heartwarming when he restores a partially deaf man's hearing, but then we smash cut to a kid going on a shopping spree for toys? It's tonally dissonant. A more involved take on the MrBeast format could really make for some good television. After all, the only thing separating a higher budget MrBeast video and actual reality TV is the lightning fast editing style. It would be a huge departure from his typical content and arguably a huge departure from his brand, but it's one that I think has a lot of potential. And considering the fact that he almost exclusively keeps his brand in the YouTube atmosphere, I don't think it's necessarily outside the realm of possibility that if he was to make content somewhere else, he would want it to be substantially different to justify that change. And we know he can make different content. Look at MrBeast's philanthropy in comparison to his normal stuff. It's basically what I've been describing this whole time. A slower, more personal, more emotional look at the actual effects of what he's doing. Now combine the wealth flexing, the wacky shenanigans, the bro humor, and the competition aspects of a normal MrBeast video with the gentler pacing and human connection more commonly felt in the philanthropy content and the longer runtime that is usually expected from a television program, and in my opinion, you have a really intriguing concept. One that has all the star power to appeal to a more general audience, but still has the potential to be a fun watch for someone who wants to lean in and really engage with the content. The concept of a MrBeast TV show is one that inherently comes with a lot of questions, especially given the retention editing that a typical Jimmy Beast video operates on. But if handled correctly, we could have a perfect middle ground for people who love the ideas behind his content, but hate how rushed and performative they often end up feeling in execution. I, for one, am excited for this eventual show. While YouTubers have made mainstream Hollywood appearances before, none of them have really managed to adapt and capitalize on why the original content was considered so good in the first place. But if there's anyone on this platform who could pull that off, it would be MrBeast, wouldn't it? See ya!